Okay, today I'm going to show you how to make a cloth doll using a very simple pattern. Here's an example of a pattern that I use to make my cloth dolls. Now this is an example of one doll that I made, and as you can see, she's really kind of cute, very basic. And if you want to make a very sweet, adorable doll for a child, you know, a doll that is also safe, you can do so. So in this video, I'm going to show you the basics of how to cut your doll pattern out. Hopefully sometime in the very near future, I will make my patterns available to you, especially if you've signed up for sugarplumdolls.ning.com. And here's one more example of another very cute little doll. Now, as you can see, I've embroidered their faces on, and that's going to be another video that I'm going to show you how to do that. But anyway, here goes. You have a paper pattern that you cut out, and I just use a paper plate, and I made a circle. And then I just took some white paper. This is just paper out of my copy machine. And I figured out the width and the length for the arms and the legs and the dress and so forth. I did mine this particular length because when I run the sewing machine foot down the edge on the inside to stitch it up, it makes for a perfect size for the doll and the doll arm that I want. So once you have your pattern drawn out and taped together like I have, also keep in mind I am really lazy. So I set it up to where with my doll and my doll pattern, I can do it all in one cut. I don't have to attach the legs and the arms separately, but out of one singular piece of fabric, well, actually a double-sided piece of fabric. And actually today I'm going to be cutting two different dolls. So this is 2 layers of this dark brown and 2 layers of this sort of caramel brown that I'm going to be cutting out. So once you have your pattern, and the pattern is not as hard as you think it would be. Once you have your pattern, just go ahead and pin down your dolls. So when you're cutting, it won't lift up on you and it won't be exact. I'm sure there's a lot of different ways you can do this. You can leave out the doll dress if you want, but for me, it's become a time saver instead of having to make individual dresses for the dolls. And you can get real creative, and I guess if you're, for the parents, it's probably a lot easier than having the doll's clothing already attached to the doll than having to keep up with doll clothes. Okay, so I pinned it down, smoothed it out, all looks good and right with the wall. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and start cutting. And since this is my only pattern, I have to cut really carefully because I hate to have to do another pattern. My goal in making cloth dolls is I have a lot of nieces and friends who have young little girls, children, and I wanted to give them something special for Christmas, birthday, what have you. And every year I do give the children something individual and handmade. And I'm also in the process of trying to make the dolls so that I can sell them. Okay. Now I know it looks like you're wasting a lot of fabric, but save all your fabric pieces. You can use them for other craft projects. Nothing ever gets wasted if you just reuse and recycle. Okay, so as you can see, the doll pattern is taking shape. as I cut it out. It's not that hard, really. Don't freak out and worry that you can't do this. Anybody can do this. It's really, really simple. I promise you it is so simple and easy. It's not even funny. Now, I tried a lot of different doll patterns over the last 6 months or so. And to me, I don't know if I'm just lazy, but it was just too many pieces to have to attach and do this and do that. And I figured, well, why can't I make the doll to cut out of, you know, one piece of fabric, or actually 2 pieces of fabric, so you'll have a front and a back. Sometimes those corners are a little hard to do. And, you know, I just figured it out. I just kept playing around with it, and trust me, I wasted a lot of fabric. But if you use something like a muslin fabric, which is around $1.99 in most places, see how it's cutting out all 4 pieces fairly easily with just a regular pair of scissors. Muslin fabric you can get really cheap, and it's really good to practice with until you get the hang of it. So I can honestly say I practiced with mine a little bit. I probably made 3 or 4 dolls that looked really yucky until I nailed down the pattern piece that I wanted. So there you have it. Now, when I flip it over, just to show you, see, it looks kind of like a, what do you call those things? A gingerbread man. But obviously this is going to be a girl. So what you do is just take, after you've got it all cut out, just take your pins out. Take them right back out. I walk around my house barefoot a lot, so I have to always make sure I put the pens back where they should be in the pen cushion. Otherwise, trust me, it's no fun stepping on one of these really long pens. And I like to use the quilting pens because they're a lot longer and a little bit thicker than like the regular pens. I don't know if you can see this, but quilting pens are really the best. Okay, that one doesn't want to go back in there. Okay, and like I said before, I cut 2 dolls. I cut through like 4 layers of fabric. So now what I'm gonna do, and this in the next part I'll show you in another video, is I'm gonna create the faces on the dolls using my embroidery machine. But you could, of course, use felt or fabric or paint or markers or hand stitch embroidery the face on your doll. But because I'm not the world's greatest artist, for me it worked out better when, yes, I know I made the investment in an embroidery machine and I found the doll faces that I want, and then I stitched them on. So this video basically showed you how to make a very simple doll shaped pattern. Lay that down again for you. Lay it on the fabric of your choice and then pin it down, cut around it, and now I'm gonna go work on these 2 dolls' faces, and you probably may want to watch the next video, and then you too can learn how to do your doll faces using an embroidery machine and some other methods, and then we'll work on the hair and stitching and stuffing. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please feel free to leave comments, subscribe, and keep watching. Thank you for stopping by. Sugar Plum Dolls, Clothespin Dolls. Yay!